What would you do if the beauty you cherished most was destroyed and you were blamed for it? In the quiet suburb of Willow Creek, where manicured lawns and vibrant gardens were a point of pride, Karen Whitaker's prized flower beds were her sanctuary. Her roses, dahlias, and rare orchids were the envy of the neighborhood, each bloom a testament to her meticulous care. But when those flowers began to wither and die, a mystery unraveled that would expose betrayal, obsession, and a truth so bitter it would haunt Willow Creek forever. Karen was a woman of precision. At 45, her life was as orderly as her garden. Every petal pruned, every weed eradicated. She was the president of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association, a role she wielded with an iron grip. Her neighbors respected her, or at least they feared crossing her. Karen's sharp tongue and unrelenting standards made her both admired and dreaded. Her garden, though, was her heart a living canvas of color and life that softened her otherwise rigid demeanor. It started subtly. One morning, Karen stepped outside to find her roses drooping, their petals curling brown at the edges. By the next week, her dahlias had yellowed, and her orchids, her pride and joy, were reduced to brittle stalks. She stood amid the devastation, her hands trembling, her eyes burning with fury. Someone, she was certain, had poisoned her garden. Her suspicions fell immediately on her new neighbor, Lucas Delgado. Lucas was an artist, a free spirit with a yard full of wildflowers and untamed grasses that clashed with the neighborhood's pristine aesthetic. Karen had already clashed with him over his unkempt lawn, sending him a stern letter about HOA regulations. Lucas, with his easy smile and paint-splattered jeans, had laughed it off, which only infuriated her more. Now, with her flowers dying, Karen was convinced he was retaliating. She stormed to Lucas's doorstep, her face flushed with accusation. "You did this!" she shouted, pointing to her ruined garden. "You're jealous of my flowers, so you poisoned them." Lucas, caught off guard, denied it, his voice calm but firm. "Karen, I'd never harm your plants. I love nature too much for that." His sincerity only fueled her rage. She vowed to prove his guilt, rallying neighbors to her cause with tales of Lucas's defiance and her garden's demise. The neighborhood buzzed with tension. Karen organized a meeting, her voice quivering with emotion as she displayed photos of her dead flowers. "This is sabotage," she declared, her eyes locking onto Lucas, who sat quietly in the back. Some neighbors nodded sympathetically, others whispered doubts, but Karen's charisma held sway. She demanded Actiona petition to have Lucas fined, even evicted. The community was divided, but Karen's fervor was relentless. Enter Mia Chun, a soft-spoken botanist who had moved to Willow Creek a year earlier. Mia was an unexpected twist in the saga, a quiet observer who rarely attended HOA meetings. She had a small greenhouse behind her modest home, where she cultivated rare plants and studied their chemistry. Mia approached Karen one evening, her voice gentle but resolute. "I've been looking at your flowers," she said. "The damage looks chemical, but I'd need to test the soil to be sure." Karen, eager for evidence against Lucas, agreed, handing over samples with a triumphant smirk. Mia's involvement shifted the narrative. She wasn't the confrontational type, but her expertise lent her words weight. She spent days analyzing the soil, her greenhouse glowing late into the night. Meanwhile, Karen's campaign against Lucas intensified. She posted flyers around the neighborhood, accusing him of environmental vandalism. Lucas, hurt but defiant, began painting a mural on his garage, a vibrant explosion of flowers, a silent rebuttal to Karen's claims. The twist came unexpectedly. One evening, as Mia presented her findings to Karen, her expression was grim. "The soil contains traces of glyphosate, a common weed killer," she said. Karen's eyes lit up, ready to pounce. "I knew it. Lucas sprayed it." But Mia shook her head. "Karen, I found something else. The spray pattern, it's concentrated around your flower beds, but it stops at your property line. If Lucas did this, the damage would spread to his yard too. It's too precise." Karen's face paled, but she waved it off. "You're mistaken. It has to be him." Mia hesitated, then pulled out her phone. I set up a small camera near my greenhouse to monitor my plants. It caught something last week. She played the footage. A grainy video of Karen, cloaked in darkness, spraying a canister over her own flower beds. The room fell silent. Karen's hands shook as she stammered, "That's not me. It's edited." But the evidence was undeniable. Mia's camera had captured Karen's face, illuminated by a street lamp, her expression grimly determined. The neighborhood's trust in her shattered. Whispers turned to accusations. Why would she destroy her own garden? The answer lay in a truth Karen had buried deep. Her obsession with control had spiraled into madness. Years earlier, Karen's husband had left her, citing her need to dominate every aspect of their lives. Her garden became her refuge, a place where she could dictate every outcome. But when Lucas's wild, untamed yard began drawing attention, Karen felt her status slipping. She couldn't bear the thought of his chaotic beauty outshining her precision. In a twisted act of desperation, she poisoned her own flowers, framing Lucas to rally the neighborhood behind her and reassert her dominance. The revelation gutted Willow Creek. Neighbors who had rallied behind Karen felt betrayed, their trust in her leadership crumbling. Lucas, vindicated, offered no gloating words, only a quiet sadness. "I just wanted to live here peacefully," he said, his mural now a symbol of resilience. Mia, the unassuming botanist, became an unlikely hero, her quiet integrity exposing the truth. Karen's downfall was swift. The HOA removed her from her position, and neighbors shunned her. She stood alone in her ruined garden, the once vibrant blooms now a graveyard of her own making. She had sought to control the narrative, to bend the world to her will, but in doing so, she lost everything: her reputation, her community, and the sanctuary she loved. In the end, the flowers of Willow Creek told a story of beauty and betrayal. Lucas's mural bloomed brighter, a testament to freedom and authenticity. Mia's greenhouse thrived, a quiet haven of truth. And Karen? She remained in her house, curtains drawn, a prisoner of her own bitterness. The neighborhood moved on, but the sting of her deception lingered, a reminder that even the most beautiful facades can hide the ugliest truths. ND